Go. I promise we're going pretty soon. Okay, maybe we're not going to do live on Facebook. Let's try it one more time. There we go. All right, here we go. We are ready. Well, thank you for joining us on our Sleep with Intention webinar. This one is awesome. And I have some notes over here on the side. So if I turn over here and look, I have some recipes for you. So be sure to grab a pen and paper, and that way you can write these recipes down. This is a really good one. It's completely about sleep. And I have had amazing sleep since I've begun using essential oils with my sleep. As long as I wasn't taking care of my little wiener dog in the middle of the night. That's a totally different story, and I call that a one-off. So if you are a mom of twins, my daughter, if you have a newborn baby, of course your sleep is going to be interrupted, right? But for everybody else, we should be having decent sleep, okay? If we don't have a person, a mini-me, waking us up in the middle of the night, we should be having peaceful, restful sleep, and that's what we're here to talk about. So let's get going. All right, so I first want to welcome you to my class. I thank you for joining me on Monday night at 6:30. And what we're going to talk about tonight is going to really give you some great insight into your sleep. And sleep is very, very rejuvenating. It's something that we all need, and we need more of it. And so I'm hoping that well, my goal for this class tonight is that you walk away with some useful information. And I'd like to just give you a little bit of my background really quickly. I don't want that to be what this is about, but I'll just tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Char Brown, and I began my doTERRA journey in September of 2012. And coincidentally, my issue was sleep. And my very good friend, Russ is giggling over there, my very good friend Rosalie shared lavender essential oil with me for my sleep issues that I was having. I was not sleeping because I had job stress, I had mommy stress, right? I was worried about my son, and I'm always worried about my kids, right? They're adults, but it doesn't matter. You never stop being mom, and so you're always going to be concerned about that. I was probably worried about finances because that's always one of the things on my brain. And so I had a problem putting my brain to sleep and actually relaxing enough that I could actually go to sleep. So when Rosalie shared lavender essential oil with me, I didn't use it at first, right? So that's your number one clue, is you have to take the cap off the bottle. I'm guilty of that. I didn't do that. And then she prompted me, followed up and asked me how I was doing with it. And I told her I didn't know what to do with it. So then she reminded me to put a drop of lavender on my big toe before I went to bed. I did. And I slept really, really, really well. And so that is how my journey with doTERRA started. I began to sleep well. I began to not be such a hot, stressed out mess, a hot mess, right? That was me. And I then realized all of the other products that we have, the other essential oils that are so beneficial. So then I couldn't help myself, and I started sharing with people. And that is how my journey began. I just kept sharing and sharing and sharing. And after lots of sharing and lots of follow-up and lots of teaching of classes, 2 years later, I went diamond. So I'm a diamond with doTERRA, and I wouldn't change any of it. I really, really, really love all of this. I'm very passionate about it. And so I'm hoping that I can pass some of my passion on to you, and that you will learn a little bit about sleep in this class. So what I want you to think about before we get started here, while we're getting going, is what is your goal? Okay, I know what my goal was, and I know what my goal is tonight, and that is to teach you about essential oils and possibly some remedies for sleep. But what is your goal? Is your goal to get better rest, or do you have a child maybe that has some sleep issues, right? Lots of little kiddos have sleep problems. And the good news is we have lots of options to take care of that. So while I'm teaching, I want you to think about that. You know, who do you know? If it's not you, it might be somebody that's very close to you that has a sleep issue. Do you share a bed with somebody who makes a lot of noise at night? I used to have somebody that made a lot of noise at night, and I have a secret recipe for you for that too. So let's get started. So is this you? Can you shut off? That was me. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, that is still me. When I'm really feeling burdened and I have a lot going on, and I'm worried about something or stressed about things, I tend to have this problem that I cannot shut off. And one of the things that you can do to cause this to not be an issue, this is a really, really important part of sleep, is your routine before you go to sleep. Okay, so they recommend no phone, right? So it's really a good idea to stop interacting with your phone. So mine has an automatic turn off. It doesn't go off, but it goes to sleep at 9 o'clock at night. So if you send me a text after 9 o'clock at night, you're not going to hear from me until the next morning. Okay, so between the hours of 9 and 7, my phone is off limits. And that really honestly has helped my sleep a lot. So I don't get crazy texts and stuff in the middle of the night. That would wake me up. I would be a sleepless mess. No technology, right? Like a half an hour before you go to bed. Make sure that you have a dark room when you're trying to go to sleep, and have a routine. Routine and habit, your sleep habit is crucial. You need to do the same thing at the same time of night every night. So I have a crazy routine that includes a lot of oils, right? I have a humidifier in our room that I have to fill up every night. I get my diffuser set up and going. I brush my teeth. I do all of my stuff, right? There's this whole routine. And you know what that does? That routine that you do, and if you do it the same way every night at the same time, this is the other part that's really important, is you've got to do the same time every night. Okay, you can't go to bed at 9 o'clock one night and then 2 the next night and then 2 the following night and then try to go to bed again at 9 o'clock. It needs to be like a set time. And I'm not going to lie to you, I am not a night owl. 9:30 and I'm starting yawning, oh, like that, and I am in bed out, lights out at 10 at night, always. So I typically put on my jammies around 9:30, and when that happens, when that part of my routine happens, that is when my body starts to go, oh, she's putting on her pajamas, She's getting her diffuser going. She's setting up the humidifier. It must be time. So your circadian rhythm starts to adjust to that. So it's super important that you have a pattern, a ritual, a habit that you do every night before you go to bed, okay? And that helps with shutting off your brain, okay? And then I've got some recipes for you to help with the brain shut off. All right, so let's talk about why doTERRA. This is a really important question. There are a lot of oil companies out there all of a sudden. They're popping up everywhere, right? Even Walmart is selling oils. Best Buy is selling oils. All of these stores, all big box stores, all of a sudden have an oil line. Well, I don't know if I would trust them, right? They can't even make a decent olive oil, right? I've lost my words. They create an olive oil. They don't give you 100% pure olive oil, even though it says so on the label. Same is true for essential oils. And so it is buyer beware, people. And you need to let people know. This is why doTERRA. We are one of the few companies who actually have a rigorous testing, laboratory testing that goes on with every batch of oil that hits our warehouse. So that is one of the reasons why doTERRA. We have a certified pure therapeutic grade, CPTG trademark on our products. And that guarantees you that you're getting a pure, potent, and quality essential oil that has gone through rigorous levels of testing. So you really need to make sure that what you're purchasing is doTERRA, okay? I'm not sure I would trust a lot of those other companies out there. Definitely not Walmart frankincense. Not a good idea, right? So that's kind of your 411. So there is a reason for our success as a company, and it's because of the high quality of essential oils that we do carry. So make sure that you're using doTERRA. This one is interesting. Just a drop. Our essential oils are so pure, in fact, that it only takes one drop to be very, very, very effective, okay? It's super important to remember that. And I have some recipes in here that have more than one drop in there, but they're recipes that are either in a diffuser or a spritzer. And so you're getting a, you know, it's a blend, it's a mix, and it's in a bigger bottle. And so you're just spraying. So one drop is typically all that's necessary to have a very, very beneficial effect. And the reason that that's true is that our oils are so pure, okay? They go through such great levels of testing. Essential oils are very, very powerful. They're super potent. And so you need to make sure that you're using caution with these. I say, for anybody under the age of 6 years old, you always need to use fractionated coconut oil. All right, super important. For sensitive skin people, fractionated coconut oil is also a must. And for elderly people, because, you know, as we age, our skin gets thinner, and so it's more sensitive. So we need to take that in mind as we're using essential oils on the young and the elderly. So just a drop is all that's needed. So go easy. If you're just beginning your essential oils journey, especially go easy, right? And use fractionated coconut oil. There are basically 3 ways to use oils. The first way that we use essential oils is aromatically. An aromatic use of essential oils can be done in the palm of your hand. So you put the oil in your hand, rub your hands together, and inhale the beautiful aromas of those essential oils. That is an aromatic use, as well as diffusers. We have a full line of diffusers that are top quality, and that's all I use in my home are doTERRA brand diffusers. And we have them that run 4 hours or 8 hours that cover from 300 to 1,000 square foot, you know, rooms. So when you put the oils in a diffuser, you're basically purifying and cleansing the air around you, all right? And so when they're in the diffuser and they're filling the room with all those beautiful scents, you're also getting the benefit of the aromatic, and that is a great way to affect mood, right? Aromatic use. The second way that we use essential oils is topically. A topical use of essential oils is just that. You put the oil where it hurts. So if you have sore muscles or occasional creaky joints, if you exercise too much, if you overdid it in the yard, you know, we're moving into spring, so we're all going to be out there planting our flowers and, you know, getting dirty and mowing the lawn. Well, you're going to probably have some occasional soreness from that, right? So you're going to put the essential oils where the problem lies, all right? Or a great way also is to put them on the bottom of your feet. Okay, so we have a lot of nerve endings on the bottoms of our feet, and those nerve endings act as sensors, and it pulls that essential oil all the way up into your whole body. And so putting them on the bottom of your feet is another great way to affect a whole body. You know, it goes from the tips of your toes to the top of your head in about 30 seconds. So it's a great way to get an all-over effect. So if you don't know what to do with it, put it on your feet. And I have a whole routine of stuff that I do on the bottom of my feet every night. So that is the second way we use essential oils, is topically. The third way that we use essential oils is internally. And internal use, man, there are so many different ways, things that we can do with internal use. You can just drop it under your tongue. So I tilt my head back and drop the oil right under my tongue. I was doing that last week. I had some sort of a little stomach discomfort after eating some peppers. And I have some high sensitivity to poblano peppers that I wasn't aware of. And boy, did they come and haunt me. So I was using fennel under my tongue, as well as digestin and ginger, every opportunity I had. So that's a great quick way to get the essential oils internal, okay? If you want to get a whole body effect, you're going to put them in a little veggie cap, right? We have all sorts of crud going around. People are dropping like flies, not going to work, the kids, it's passing around the whole family. Well, you can offset that by putting a few drops of essential oil in a veggie cap and then swallowing the veggie cap. And so that way it actually goes through your digestive system, it filters through your liver, and it's a whole body effect, right? And the other way that we use essential oils internally is by dropping them in water. It's a great way to flavor your water, and then as well, you're benefiting your body internally because you're taking that oil internally, and it's going to help cleanse all of your internal organs. So it's a really great way to use essential oils is internally, okay? So establish a routine. I was kind of talking about this earlier, but it's super important to have a nighttime routine. Whatever that is for you. My daughter has twins, and they actually have a night routine, right? They get their jammies on, they get their diapers on, and she reads them a book. And they know that the reading of that book, it kind of triggers them that, oh, it must be time for our nightie, right? And so we are no different. As adults, we're no different. And maybe that's a really good thing to do, is to read a book before you go to bed. But there is a lot to be said for establishing a routine. There is a lot of science behind this. So you want to make sure that you get a routine. Try to avoid technology, computer, phone, iPad, laptop, any of that. And I try really hard not to do any of those after 9 o'clock at night. That's just my own personal routine. I know how important it is for me to sleep. And so I try to do everything I can to push that along. So establish a nighttime routine, from brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, all of these things. If you do them every night at the same time, in the same order, it sets your circadian rhythm. It's kind of crazy, but it works. The other thing that they recommend, if your circadian rhythm is all messed up, is that you actually go out into nature. And I'm not a big person to go sleep in a tent, but if I was desperate for sleep, I might try it, right? So they say that if you go spend one night in a tent camping, that your circadian clock will reset itself, because the nighttime happens, right? It gets dark and your body wants to go to sleep. That's what it wants to do. And then when the sun comes up, it's bright as all get out. You don't have any blackout curtains. You've got none of that, right? So you wake up. And so that's all it takes to reset your circadian rhythm, is to go camping. So go camping, right? All right, so establish a routine is super important for sleep hygiene. That's what they call it. That's the medical term for it, is sleep hygiene. And it is very important, and your body needs it. All right, how about taking a nap? I love to take a nap, and I actually haven't been doing it for a while. But man, there was a time for about a 6-month period, a span of about 6 months, when I was taking care of my really sick dog, that I needed a nap every day. And I did. I took a nap, and I would crawl on the bed with my blanket and my pillow, and I would just go out. And sometimes it would be for 20 minutes, and sometimes it would be for 45 minutes. A nap is a really, really good thing for you. It's super, super nourishing for your body. So start napping, people. Seriously. Even if you can just do a 20-minute nap, take a nap. It makes me think of, I was a big Seinfeld fan, Russ, and I love Seinfeld. And so there's one where George, he's working for the Yankees in their management office, and he actually takes a pillow and a blanket and an alarm clock and goes underneath his desk, and he's taking a nap in the middle of the day at work under the desk. I think we need to do this, right? There are some European countries where they actually have nap pods where people can go take a nap right in the middle of the day. It's great for productivity. So cherish those moments and take a nap. And this is a beautiful picture of obviously a dad and a little baby. Take a nap. It's a good thing, right? Just go lights out for 20 minutes. It's not bad. It's a good thing for your body. It helps your brain. It's going to give you more energy, more vitality. You won't be as cranky. You won't have a short fuse. So it's a really good thing to cherish the time and take a nap. All right, so let's talk about DIY spa ideas, all right? So I don't know about you, but when I go to the spa, and I don't go to the spa very often, I actually had my first spa experience recently when we were in Cancun, and I was so relaxed. It was so soothing and so calming. And you know, if you could create that environment in your bedroom before you went to sleep at night, how would that affect you, right? I think it would make us all have much better sleep. And so here's one of my little recipes for you. So I'm going to look over here on my little cheat sheet, but this is a spritz recipe. Okay, so listen to this. You're going to put it in a spray bottle. You're going to put 25 drops of Serenity, 20 drops of ylang ylang, 15 drops of vetiver, and 15 drops of marjoram, and the rest of the spray bottle with water. So I would say like a 4-ounce bottle, maybe. And you're going to spritz your pillow and your bed sheets before you climb in with that recipe. And it's going to make it smell like a spa. It's very soothing and very, very relaxing. So that is your spa recipe, your DIY for this little webinar. All right. So the essential oils are the perfect remedy, right? They really are. They are the perfect remedy for sleep. They're all very, very, very soothing and relaxing. Almost all of them have these properties to them, which is very interesting. But they're very, very soothing and relaxing. And all it takes is just one drop to create a really nice, very quiet, balanced energy environment. Very soothing, very serene, right? They're the perfect remedy for sleep because they're very, very soothing. That's what they've been used for years and years and years. And even before, you know, we found out about all of these other things that they do, they've been used and known for that. They are used typically in spas, and they've been, you know, when I went and had my massage in Cancun, they asked me what I wanted. I was getting a citrus massage, but they actually asked me if I wanted Serenity or Balance or Aroma Touch for my scent during my massage. And I chose Aroma Touch because I love it. So we all know that essential oils are the perfect remedy for everything that ails us. So let's talk about some line uses for some of these oils. Okay, these ideas really kind of played with my head a little bit because I would not have thought about these, right? I see Motivate oil and it's the encouraging blend. I never would have thought about it for sleep. Kind of interesting, right? So here's an idea for you. 15 minutes before you're going to go to bed, you go up and turn on your electric blanket if you're in Colorado, right? Go turn on your electric blanket if you live in a cold environment and set your diffuser up with a couple of drops of Motivate in there, in your diffuser before you go to bed. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds just nuts, right? But you're going to be able to sleep because you are going to sleep with motivation. So a lot of times what bogs us down at night is our to-do list for tomorrow. That's what my issue is. So here's what I do. I write down my to-do list on my planner the night before for the next day. And even if it's only 2 things, I believe that that helps set my brain, and my brain goes, okay, so we don't have to worry about that all night because we've got it on a list. So it's on our to-do list for tomorrow. So now Char's brain is going to go to bed and relax. And the Motivate oil does the same thing because Motivate is to help you do things, right? So if you make a list, you put your Motivate in the diffuser while you're making your list at your bedside right before you go to bed, your brain is going to go, oh, okay, so we're motivated to do these things tomorrow, so now we can rest and go to sleep. Seriously, it makes total sense to me, right? How about sleeping cheerfully? And this, I think, is really important because a lot of people have night terrors, and especially kids. I think a lot of kids do have night terrors. My son suffered from night terrors when he was a little guy. And I so wish that I had had this as an option when my Kevin was a little boy, because I would have totally been able to use this for him. Sleep cheerfully. So you can take cheer and lavender or cheer and frankincense and put it in the diffuser at night next to your child's bed. And it's going to help them because cheer is an uplifting blend. So they're going to have happy thoughts when they go to bed instead of those night terrors. Okay, so I think it's a really good thing to try for night terrors. The other thing that is good for night terrors is juniper berry. And I read that recently. Within the last week, I read about juniper berry, and I was shocked. I had no idea that that was for night terrors. So those 2 oils would be great for our kids who suffer with night sleeping issues, and they wake up screaming and scared and afraid. How about sleep passionately? I think passionate sleeping sounds amazing, right? So sleep passionately, you're going to put your thoughts on hold, right? You're gonna just kind of let it all go, and you're just gonna sleep with passion, with pure passion. And it's kind of good for dreams, right? Dreams are a good thing, and we need to dream more, and our passion is going to help us with our dreams. When we feel passionate, we're more able to go and explore our dreams. And so passion essential oil in the diffuser at night is going to help us sleep more passionately. Did you guys see Russ back there? He's been back there like doing a dance. I'm not sure what he's been doing in the background, but he's been back there the whole time. Kind of distracting, but he was turning off my cell phone. Thank you, honey. All right, so sleep passionately. That's a great idea. Who knew? But it's going to inspire us to have big dreams, right? And we need dreams. We need to have dreams. Life without dreams is not life. That's not living, right? We need to dream. We are entitled to dream. Russ and I did some dreaming yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So sleep passionately with your passion oil. How about sleeping with forgiveness? Interesting. I think a lot of my sleepless nights have been filled with worry, right? And we worry about the conversation that we have to have tomorrow with a coworker, right? Or we, said something today that we shouldn't have said, right? And now we're upset with ourselves. Why did I say that? Why did I do that, right? And sometimes forgiveness is a big deal. And so if we can take that heavy feeling from our heart and sleep with forgiveness, this is a good thing, right? So I think this is a lot of our sleep issues sometimes. So our sleep issues a lot of times come from up here, right? We are just so burdened in our head. And so sleeping with forgiveness is a really, really interesting concept for me. How about sleeping with consolation? Interesting, right? Console. It's a comforting blend. How many of us are not comfortable when we go to bed? We have discomfort. We have things that are bothering us. It's just heavy. You know, they're weighing us down. We're just not, you know, not feeling quite where we need to be. We're discomforted. And discomfort doesn't necessarily mean a physical pain, right? We can have a discomfort in our heart. And so console, sleeping with console, and I bet it smells amazing in the diffuser. I can't even imagine, but I bet it's fantastic in the diffuser. So these are all ideas that we could do to put these in our diffuser. Sleep with consolation. Rub it over your heart a little bit, right? Because that's where I put console. You know, when I'm just not feeling quite right and I'm kind of sad. Sadness can keep us from sleeping, right? So we need to get right with that, and this blend will help us. How about sleep peacefully? Man, we have a great story. My daughter had, little Tay was super, super upset a couple days ago. Was it Friday? I don't know. But she texted me and she sent me a video and she said, "This is Tay, look at her. She's really having a bad day. It's gonna be one of those days." And I said, "Oh, she's still so cute. Roll some peace on the bottom of her feet," because we have this in roller, right? It's peace touch. And I said, "Roll some peace on her feet." And she did. And within 10 minutes, that little baby girl was content and sleeping peacefully. This is the reassuring blend. Okay, so when you're just not feeling at peace, and you know when that is, right? We know when we're not feeling peaceful in our heart. So if you're not feeling peaceful in your heart, get out your peace blend, put it behind your ears, roll it over your heart, and put it in your diffuser, and you will have peaceful sleep. Super important. How about fractionated coconut oil for sleep? Shar, are you crazy? Well, I think this is a really good idea, okay? Sometimes, well, for me, it's quite a bit, actually. I need more than just one drop of lavender on the big toe, right? So what if you're really, really full of angst and upset? How about taking some fractionated coconut oil in the palm of your hand, because it's going to make it go farther, right? So you're going to take the fractionated coconut oil, put the Serenity in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and put it over your abdomen and your chest. It's going to go farther. You're going to get a better benefit. And you know what the fractionated coconut oil does? It forces that oil to stay. It doesn't have a flash off, right? Because a lot of times, especially in dry environments, it actually dries on you before it actually gets absorbed into your skin. And so the fractionated coconut oil is going to help it actually stay on your skin. So underneath your jammies, put it on your chest, on your belly. I can tell you, I put a ton of cedarwood right here on my forehead. Lil Shepherd shared that with me 2 years ago when we were in Alaska. We were all hyped up. We had had this amazing elite retreat with Rosalie, and we were all excited, and we stayed up late. None of us could go to sleep. And so I'm like, "How do you shut your brain off, Lil?" And she goes, "Oh, I just put cedarwood right here in the center of my forehead." And so that's what I do. But I do like 3 drops, and then I just kind of rub it around right there. And it literally shuts my brain off. Seriously. So that's another one of my little tips for you is cedarwood. Turn off your brain. Turn it off. But keep your fractionated coconut oil on hand, because it will help your oils stay on and not have a flash off, right? And dream on. So important. We need dreams. We need big dreams. You need to have great dreams. And if you're not dreaming, this is very interesting. If you're not dreaming, that means that you are not entering REM sleep. REM sleep is where you go deep, deep, deep into sleep. REM sleep is where your brain replays all of your stuff from the day and compartmentalizes it in your brain. It's really cool. That is what your body does, and that is why we need sleep, because it takes all that stuff that's in your brain that you were thinking about all day, and it puts it where it's supposed to go, in all those little file folders. I think my brain has file folders on the inside. I tell Russ this all the time. He's like, oh gosh, that's crazy. But it's compartmentalized, right? So for you to dream, you have to get rid of all that jumbled stuff in your head and reach REM sleep, right? REM is where your dreams happen. And it's a vital part of your body's reset. It's part of your rejuvenation and your rest every night. Super important that you're dreaming. If you're not dreaming, then you might need to take some oils for that. Do you want to know what oils can help you dream? I wrote them down over here. It's kind of crazy. 5 drops of patchouli and 5 drops of clary sage in your diffuser will help you dream. Who knew? I don't have a problem dreaming. And typically, so you think about this, if you can remember a dream, it probably has a highlight in it of something that was going on in your day that you dreamt it. It's proven. So sometimes I might be thinking about my kids, and then I'll have all this weird stuff in my dream about my kids doing all sorts of weird stuff, but it has to do with your brain taking all of that stuff that you're thinking about in there and compartmentalizing it and putting it where it's supposed to go. For long-term memory, short-term memory, that's how it does it. It puts all of that away. And that, Russ, that makes total sense. That's why I can't remember. I have the worst long-term memory ever. And I think it's because for years, and I'm not talking about 2 years or 3 years, I'm talking about like 25, 30 years of my life, I did not sleep. I wasn't dreaming. I had horrible sleep. And just in the last 4 years since I met my beautiful friend Rosalie, have I found sleep again. And I dream. And I can remember my dreams. And it's awesome. So dream on. Dream big. We need to dream. Our hearts need it. Our brains need it. It's part of being a human being and having a happy life, dreaming. So get your dream on. Get out your patchouli and your clary sage and have some good dreams. All right. How about resting assured? Look at this poor woman. Man, she looks like she wants to put the pillow over his head, right? I've been there. I've had those thoughts. I'm like, oh my gosh, either I'm getting up and I'm going to go sleep on the sofa, or I'm putting the pillow over his head, right? It happens. And sometimes it's not the guy that's the snorer. Sometimes it's the gal. Yeah, some women snore too, right? Actually, Russ says when I'm not breathing well, when my nose is plugged up, he says that I have, what do you call it? I click. He says I click. That's my version of snoring. But anyway, you can take care of this, okay? So this is Russ's latest discovery, and I don't know where I read it. I don't know where I saw it, but somewhere I saw that thyme, essential oil on the big toe, takes care of snoring. So I was like, Russ, you love me, right? Oh, he loves me so much. I said, so would you do me a favor and put 1 drop of thyme on your big toe before you go to bed? Please, we'll just try it, right? Because we've tried everything. And guess what? No snoring. No snoring. Another thing that you can do, because it depends on the person, right? But a lot of people's snoring is related to breathing problems in their nose. Okay, so I have 2 recommendations for that. You can try Breathe. Okay, I put Breathe in our diffuser. Breathe and Serenity, 5 drops of each, go in my diffuser that runs all night long next to my bed. All right, so that's one of our secrets. But you could try Breathe across the sinuses right here, up in the forehead, on the chest, because maybe that person that's snoring and driving you absolutely crazy has some breathing issues. Come on, we've got to have a little compassion about this, right? Could be breathing issues. All right, so to use Breathe. If that doesn't work, try the thyme on the big toe. Frankincense is also another magic anti-snoring aid on the feet. So depending on the person, right? But try these things. We've got oils. Take the caps off and let's try them for all these other things. We never know what's going to work, right? But thyme is our latest discovery for Russ's snoring issue. And you know what? I'm so peaceful. I'm sleeping. He's sleeping. He says he's been dreaming again because when he was snoring, he wasn't getting good sleep. This is the part that breaks my heart is, yes, the person that is not the snorer is up, right? You're up and you're frustrated and you're aggravated and you're angry and then you're tired the next day. But the person that's doing the snoring isn't sleeping well either. They're not. They do sleep studies for this stuff, right? And then they put a CPAP machine on you. Try some oils. Let's try the oils, okay? Let's do this. And how about get cozy? I love this. And yeah, that is kind of what balance is like. I mean, I'm talking about balance essential oil with this slide. Balance is a grounding blend, okay? So when I use balance, it's like I'm getting a nice fuzzy blanket around me. It's very reassuring and very cozy. Isn't that what it makes you feel like? It's the grounding blend, balance. So that's a really good nighttime one too. And it is also another one that I use at night. I put balance behind my ears, on my pulse right here, and I put it on the bottom of my feet every night before I go to bed because I want to go to bed grounded. I want to feel solid and safe and secure. And that is what balance does for me. It gives me a feeling of safety and security and grounding. So try balance, add balance to your routine. I love balance. I use it a lot. A lot of balance happens in our house. Okay, so how about no more nightmares? This is one that I was talking about earlier. I did not know this, and this morning I was doing some research on juniper berry for a whole other reason, and I found this. No more nightmares. Juniper berry helps with nightmares. Kind of interesting, but you can put it on the bottom of our children's feet, and you can put it in the diffuser with lavender. Lavender and juniper berry in the diffuser next to their bedside should help with nightmares. How about that? Isn't that amazing? There's nothing worse than waking to your child screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night. We used to have this in our house. My son suffered from night terrors from the time that he was about 12 months old until he was like 5. And it was almost an every night affair. And the only thing that I could do to calm him down was just to sit with him and talk to him and comfort him. And he wasn't really awake. He was asleep, but he was screaming and crying and carrying on. It was so crazy. And the only person he responded to was me and my voice. And I used to pet him. I had to pet him on his head and rub him on his back. And he eventually would go back to sleep. But it took about a half an hour to calm him down. So that was kind of a hard time. And I understand how hard it is for parents that are dealing with this. It's really difficult. And it's another instance where I just wish that I had had these products and these oils when my kids were small. I really do. I think it would have been a game changer for sure. How about sleep anywhere? Look at this dude. Okay, this is definitely not me. I can't sleep in a car, can't sleep in a plane, can't sleep in a train. I can't do any of that. I need my bed and my pillow. But if I were working in an environment where I needed to sleep wherever I could, I probably would try this. Okay, so here is your sleep anywhere information. All right, if you want to be able to sleep, and I'm thinking this for me when I travel, because I struggle sleeping when I travel. That is one of my issues. I don't think there's enough cedar wood in the whole world to keep me out at night when I'm traveling. I think it's a security issue. I'm not in my bed. I'm not in my comfort zone. I don't have my pillow. I don't have my blankets. So I'm going to try this. We're traveling. We start on Sunday. We're leaving Sunday morning to go to Long Beach for leadership retreats. I'm going to take this with me and see if it works. So this is 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of bergamot, and 10 drops of cedarwood in your diffuser to help you sleep anywhere. I'm liking that. I've had some travel occasions when I was like, I don't even know why I'm trying to sleep right now because I'm not sleeping. And then I end up, at the end of my trip, I'm exhausted. So let's try this. Let's try this Sleep Anywhere blend. 5 of lavender, 5 of bergamot, and 10 of cedarwood in your diffuser. I'm going to give it a try. I'm taking these 3 oils with me well, cedar would be going anyway, and lavender would be going, but well, I'm going to add bergamot. I'll let you know how it goes. So this is another one of my secret remedies for sleep, Just Since Convention. I love it. And that might be where a lot of my sleep improvement has come from, is from this combo. This is the Serenity Restful Complex and the Serenity Essential Oil Blend, the Restful Blend. These two are a staple for me. And I've heard people are taking one Serenity Soft Gel. No, you need two. Two. So I take 2 Serenity Soft Gels about a half an hour before I go to bed. I take it with my phytoestrogen, so that's my nighttime supplement routine. And then Serenity Essential Oil Blend goes on my big toe, and it also goes in my diffuser with my Breathe oil. So that's my diffuser combination right there, is Serenity and Breathe. So those 2 oils go in my diffuser next to my bed, and then I take my Serenity Restful Complex soft gels, and I sleep really well now, you guys. It's so amazing. I just love it. I'm happy, and I'm sleeping average. A light sleeping night for me would be like 6.5 hours, but I'm averaging like 7.5 hours of sleep, which is really good. That's actually perfect. Anything more than 8 hours of sleep a night is kind of too much, and you can have too much sleep and it's not good for you either. So sleep is of the essence, and this is a really great combination. I highly recommend that you try it. It is fantastic. So now I've given you all this information, and you want to know, how do I get these beautiful products? I need sleep. Shar, how do I get these oils and these products in my family's life? So what you're going to do is you're going to purchase a wholesale membership with doTERRA. We have a wholesale customer as well as a wellness advocate, depending on whether you're interested in doing this as a business or whether you just want to be a customer. We love you as a customer if that's your choice. So you're going to want to get involved, right? You're going to want to get involved by purchasing your wholesale membership, and that is a $35 annual membership fee. And then from that point forward, you get to purchase your products at 25% off, okay? So it's a beautiful way to purchase amazing, pure essential oils and products. And then we also have a loyalty rewards program. Our loyalty rewards program is like a frequent flyer plan, or one of the benefit programs. And so what happens is you're going to start earning rewards at 10%. So every time you make a purchase, you get 10% of that PV, the product value, back in points. And so if it's a 100 PV order, you're going to get 10% of that, or $10 in points, 10 points. That 10 points you can use to purchase product next month. So it's a win-win situation. After you've purchased over a period of months and months and months, and it adds up to a year, on the 13th month, you're going to now be getting 30% back in product points. So on a $300 order, and I say $300 order because that's what I do every month, $300 at 30% means that you're getting 100 points in your point bank. That's $100. That's $90. $90. See, my math is not good. It's not. You don't have to do good math to be a diamond in doTERRA. Isn't that a relief? I think it's awesome. So I was doing math in my head. I'm like, 30 times 30. Oh, that's only $90. Oh, well, Shar doesn't have to do math. I just know that $90 is a lot of product free points, right? So get yourself on the loyalty rewards program. I love it. It is so fantastic. It is one of the best out there. I think it is the best out there. I've been participating in a lot of points back programs, including on my American Express card, and it doesn't compare. Doesn't compare. Because you get to use those points. So my 90 points, I get to buy $90 worth of product, or 90 PV. So I could go buy, 4 bottles of Breathe essential oil with my 90 points. There you go. So be sure that you get set up with your loyalty rewards program, get involved with your wholesale product membership, and the best is still coming. So when you begin your journey using essential oils, you are going to have support, you're going to have friendship, you're going to have lots of people here that want to help you, including me, right? When you purchase your wholesale membership, I am not just going to leave you high and dry. I help educate you. I teach these webinars. We do compensation trainings if you're interested in doing this as a business. So we are here to support you and help you in your journey of using your essential oils. So let us know how we can best support you, how we can help you in the future. My email address is lifetothefullest.co@gmail.com. You can contact me on Facebook, or you can send me an email, or you can contact me by phone. My phone number is 719-640-7344. I'm here to help you and guide you on your oils journey, and I hope that you got something out of this webinar tonight. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week. Bye.